This is the day that the Lord has made, and let us be rejoice and be glad that we're in it. As Frankfort State Representative, I want to thank all of you for being here today and for taking part in this important event. Those of us here are truly walking in Dr. King's footsteps, as Christian said earlier, because it has been a little more than 54 years since he too rallied on these Capitol grounds. He was here with Jackie Robinson and Kentucky's own Georgia Powers. Let's give a shout out to Senator Powers. And thousands of others as they were seeking what we all want, equality and justice. Their work bore fruit, and Kentucky would go on to become the first state in the South to pass a civil rights legislation. Dr. King is known for some of the best speeches ever given, but he put actions behind those words. As most of you know, he was in Memphis 50 years ago to support the sanitation workers that were on strike. 2 of them had been killed on the job a few weeks earlier, and when the city government refused to compensate their families, 1,300 workers left in protest. These workers were making just 65 cents an hour, which is $2 less than minimum wage today when you adjust that with inflation. There was no overtime, there was no sick leave, and if you were hurt, you were likely to be fired. And Dr. King saw their struggle and was about more than just better pay and better working conditions. It was about being treated with respect and dignity and being recognized for what and who they were and what they did. The night before he was tragically taken from us, Dr. King gave one of the most memorable and passionate speeches that we heard earlier. Many refer to it as the mountaintop speech, but it was much more than that. It was a stormy night like we had last night, but his words matched the thunder outside. He told the workers and others who had gathered, and I quote, "Either we go up together or we go down together. Let us develop a kind of dangerous unselfishness." I like that term, dangerous unselfishness. By coming together, by helping others, even if we ourselves do not benefit, that is when great things are done. And Dr. King then talked about the biblical times, noting that whenever Pharaoh wanted to prolong slavery in Egypt, he kept the slaves fighting among themselves. Does that sound familiar? Doesn't it? Dr. King said that when the slaves put aside their differences, however, that's the beginning of getting out of slavery. And Dr. King also said something else in his mountaintop speech that remains true even today. He said that if God gave him the choice to live in any era, he would pick the second half of the 20th century. That's a strange statement. He acknowledged. The world is all messed up, he said. The nation is sick. Trouble is in the land. But I know, somehow, that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. In many ways, the late 1960s are not much different from today. The world seems messed up. It seems like the nation is sick and troubled. But as I look out in this crowd, and as I think of the thousands who marched here 48 hours ago and 54 years ago, I see so many stars. Each of you is a light that brightens the night so much that it seems like daylight. Seeing you put actions to words gives me hope that better days are ahead. There may be a lot of wrong with this world, but you are very much part of what is right. No speech about Dr. King is complete without including one of the many memorable quotes. It is difficult for me to pick one, but my favorite is this. The ultimate measure of a man, and today I'll include that women, is not where he or she stands in comfort or convenience, but where he or she stands at times of challenges and controversy. I know where each of us stand during these times of challenges and controversy. And while I wish so much that Dr. King would be with us today, I also know 50 years after his death, he is very much here with us in spirit. I think he would be proud of that legacy of helping and inspiring others in what endures most. We are all better off because he lived and because he truly carried out the words of Christ from the book of Matthew. I tell you the truth, when you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you were doing it to me. Again, thank you all for being here today and for being part of this event. And on behalf of the city of Frankfort and the people of Franklin County, I want to say we appreciate you and we welcome you all to your capital city. God bless.